Hello friends, the topic of this video is functions of operating system. So operating system install on your machine perform various functions. So first is process management. Whenever you are running any application is nothing but process. So allocation of and deallocation of the memory, process management, it is done by operating system. Then creation of file system, editing the file, creation of file, removing the file. It is managed by again operating system. IO management means if you are using any external device, let us say USB or mouse or printer or any joystick, again it is managed by operating system. Then it provides security to the data. It provides various access and authorization role to the data so that it cannot be accessed by unauthorized user. And then at the last, it provides user interface. So in this video, we'll see all these functions in detail. So first is process management. So what is process? Process is a program in execution. So whenever, suppose if you are running Chrome browser, then it is process. If you are using Word application, it is process. So everything running on your system is a program and which is nothing but process. So a process needs certain resources. Whenever you start the process, it needs CPU time, it needs memory, it needs files, yes, and sometimes it needs IO devices also to complete the task. And simultaneous execution lead to multiple processes. Hence, creation of process, execution of process, termination of process is managed by operating system. If the process are dependent, means if one process depend on another process, then process synchronization is required. Means if two process are if two process are using the same let us say IO devices, then there may be synchronization. So again, it is managed by operating system. If the process are independent, then due care is needed to avoid overlapping in memory area. So some process due to suppose there is limited memory, then some processes may use the same memory. So to avoid that overlapping, it is taken care by operating system. And then again assigning priority to process, which process will be executed first, which process will be executed next, and last again it is prioritized by operating system. So process management is a very important function which is again managed by operating system. Next is memory management. Now whenever you run any process, it requires memory. Sometimes if memory is limited and if there are too many processes, then operating system decides uh, how to allocate the memory. So memory management is another function performed by operating system. So first of all, what is memory? Memory is an array of words or bytes and it has its own address. It is repository quickly accessible and data shared by CPU and IO devices. Then there are two types of memory, main memory and secondary memory. So main memory is nothing but RAM. So main memory is volatile. Its content will be deleted when you turn off your computer. And in addition to RAM installed in your computer, most operating system allow you to use virtual memory. Now virtual memory is nothing but, let us say if you are running two processes and if one process require 2 GB and if the RAM size is 1 GB, then uh, how to allocate the memory, how much memory is required, then what operating system will do? Operating system will allocate, let us say 500 MB memory, and then after its use, it will return back. So there are two memory, physical memory and virtual memory. So virtual memory is managed by operating system. Physical memory means which is provided physically. So operating system is responsible for following activity. It keeps the tracks of parts of memory which is currently being used. Memory allocation and deallocation again taken care by operating system, and decide which process to load and when memory space become available. So this is the Second main function performed by the operating system. Now third one is file management. So file creation, file editing, file deletion taken care by operating system. Now there are various file formats. So FAT12 this file format is used by floppy disk. Then FAT16 is used by older version of Windows, and FAT32 again used by older version of Windows. FAT means file allocation table. This is the file format. NTFS nowadays used by newer version of Windows. ext3 used by Unix and Linux, and HFS is used by Mac OS. So this is for your information only. Now file creation, file deletion, then directory creation, directory deletion, mapping file onto the secondary storage, take the backup of the files again taken care by operating system. So this is the third main function performed by the operating system. Then device management or IO management. Suppose if you want to use printer, then and so once you bought the printer from the market, and if you want to print, you cannot directly print on it. First of all, you have to install the device driver on operating system, and then you can start the printing. So what is device driver? Device driver is an interface between your hardware and operating system. So whatever device connected to your machine will be taken care by operating system. If you want to use again mouse, then it is managed by operating system. So all the devices, external devices should be compatible with the operating system, and you can interact with those external devices through some interface. Device driver are which are the operating system software component interact with the device controllers. A special device called interrupt controller handle the task of receiving interrupt request and prioritize them forwarded to the processor. Now, if you are working on one process, and if there is interrupt, let us say power gone, or if you switch in between the process, if then that is nothing but interrupt. So interrupt management is again done by operating system. So operating system makes sure that there should not be deadlock. If two processes are accessing the same hardware device, then there may be deadlock. So operating systems will take care that deadlock should not occur. It will allocate the devices as per need. So following activities are performed for device management. Operating system will keep the track of all the devices connected to the system. It allocates the devices. It deallocates the devices. It designates a program responsible for input-output controller. So this is the fourth main function performed by operating system. Security and protection. The operating system uses password protection to protect the user data. Okay. It also prevents unauthorized access to the program and user data by assigning access right permission. So using operating system, access right permission can be provided to the files and directory. So Linux is the most secure operating system in world. 90% of the websites run on Linux server. And in Linux operating system, there is no need to install antivirus also. So this is the fifth most important function performed by the operating system. And last is user interface mechanism. Now, if you want to use operating system, then there should be user interface. The operating system having easy user interface will be more popular. If you take the example of Windows and Linux, then Windows operating system is more popular because it has very much user-friendly interface. Now to interact with the operating system, there are two ways. First is command line interface, second one is graphical user interface. Now what happens in command line interface, everything is through command. If you open MS-DOS, you have to provide the commands, and through command you can provide instruction to the operating system. Then second way is graphical user interface. In graphical user interface, you will interact with the menus and visual images. So daily we are using graphical user interface. So these are the two ways to interact with the operating system. So providing user interface is the main function of operating system. So in this video we have discussed the function performed by operating system, and that's it for this video. If you like the video, then please subscribe, like and share. Thank you.